Hi, today we're going to crochet this cute little amigurumi bunny with a collar right in time for Easter. We'll be using cotton 4-ply DK yarn in any color for the bunny or any 4-ply yarn which is suitable for a 3mm crochet hook. You will also need some yarn for the collar and some scrap yarn to embroider the eyes and the nose. You of course need toy stuffing, a pair of scissors, yarn needle and a stitch marker. We're going to start by making a magic circle. There are many ways to do it and this is how I do it. So make your magic ring or magic circle and chain 1 to secure. Now into the ring we are going to crochet 6 single crochet stitches. To follow this tutorial it's good to be aware of the basic stitches, especially single crochet, double and half double crochet stitches. We are following US terms. At the end of 6 stitches we're going to pull the yarn tail and close the center of the ring. Round 2 is going to be an increase round. So enter your hook into the first single crochet stitch and make 2 single crochets in the same stitch. So that's an increase, and then we're going to do the same thing, 2 single in the next stitch and 2 single crochet in each stitch around. So at the end of round 2 we should have 12 stitches. I've made my 12 stitches, and before moving on to round 3 we're going to take our stitch marker and mark the last stitch of the last round. So the 12th stitch there, I'm just going to place the stitch marker. If you don't have a marker you could also use a safety pin or a bobby pin. In round 3 you're going to make 1 single crochet in the next stitch, and then we're going to do an increase of 2 single crochet in the next stitch. So enter the next stitch and make 2 single crochet in the same stitch. Again 1 single in the next and 2 single in the next. We'll repeat this pattern of 1 single in the next and increase in the next all through the round till we come to the end of the round, and we should have 18 stitches in the end. So there I'm working into my last stitch where I'll be making 2 single crochets, and I have made 18 stitches at the end of this round. We have to mark the last stitch once again before we move on to our next round, round 4. In round 4 we're going to start with 2 single crochets in the first stitch, so that's an increase, and 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches. So 2 in the first and 1 in the next 2 stitches, 2 single crochet in the next stitch and 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches again. And this is the pattern we'll do in this round. At the end of round 4 we should have 24 stitches. For the next 5 rounds, rounds 5 to 9, we're just going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch around, maintaining the stitch count of 24 in every round. You can pause the video here and come back when you finish. So I've completed 5 rounds of 1 single crochet in each stitch around, maintaining a stitch count of 24. We begin round 10 with 1 single crochet in the first 2 stitches. So just make 1 single crochet in the first stitch and 1 single in the next stitch. And now we're going to do a decrease. To do a decrease, enter the next stitch, grab the yarn and come out. Then you enter the next stitch, grab the yarn and come out. You should have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. So this is a single crochet decrease. We're going to repeat this pattern, 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches, and then we're going to do a decrease in the next 2 stitches. We'll repeat this pattern of one single in the next two and a decrease in the next two till we come to the end of the round. That's my last decrease. When you count the stitches at the end of this round, we should have 18 stitches. In round 11, we're going to do one single crochet in the next stitch, followed by a decrease in the next two stitches. One single in the next, and a decrease in the next two. We're going to follow this pattern, and at the end of this round, we should have 12 stitches. At the end of round 11, we're going to place our head down, bunny head down, with the loop at the back, and we're going to add the eyes. To add the eyes, I've simply cut 2 strings of black yarn, just a little longer than my crochet hook. I'm just going to make 2 simple knots right in the middle of the black thread, like that. So it gives that little bump in the middle, and that's going to make the eye. So that little knot over there. Then we're ready to attach the eye, and we do it 6 rows from the crown of the head. So count 6 rows, and just below the 6th row you can take your needle in to place the eye. We're going to repeat that on the other side. Leaving a gap of 3 stitches between the 2 eyes, so just count 3 stitches from one eye and insert the other black thread inside. We're going to take the other 2 tail ends also. Now we just have to turn the head inside out and tie the 2 tail ends at the back with 2 simple knots. This is of course a lot easier if you have safety eyes. You can simply place the safety eyes 6 rows below the crown, but yarn is easily accessible and available, so this is how I do it with yarn. That's how our 2 little bunny eyes are going to look at the end of all the knots. Picking up the yarn and hook from where we left off, moving on to round 12, is it? Yeah, round 12. We are going to do one single crochet in each stitch around, maintaining a stitch count of 12. At the end of round 12, I have my 12 stitches, and now is a good time to start filling up. Add a bit of toy stuffing, and I also like to add some bits and bobs of thread scraps. And then I put some more toy stuffing on top. Moving on to round 13, which is also an increase round. We're going to do one single crochet in the next stitch and do an increase in the next stitch. So 2 single crochets in the same stitch. Again, 1 single in the next and 2 single in the next. We're going to repeat this pattern of 1 in the next and 2 in the next, which will give us a stitch count of 18 stitches. So at the end of my round 13, I have my 18 stitches. Moving on to round 14, which is very straightforward, just 1 single crochet in each stitch around, maintaining a stitch count of 18. Always remember to mark the last stitch of every round so we know where to finish. Moving on to round 15, we're going to do 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches. And do an increase in the next stitch. So that's 2 single crochet in the same stitch. Again, 1 single in the next 2 stitches and an increase in the 3rd stitch. This is the pattern that we'll follow in this round. At the end of this round, we should have 24 stitches. I'm working the last increase of this round, and there I have 24 stitches. Round 16 is again just working 1 single crochet in each stitch around, maintaining a stitch count of 24. This is also a good time to add more stuffing inside. Moving on to round 17. We're going to start this time with an increase, so 2 single crochet in the next stitch and 1 single in the next 3 stitches. So we're going to follow this pattern of increase followed by 3 single crochets and then an increase followed by 3 single crochets all through the round. At the end of this round we should have a stitch count of 30. For the next 5 rounds, rounds 18 to 22, we're just going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch around, keeping the stitch count of 30. I have finished my 22nd round here. I'm going to add more stuffing inside, and now we can really push down the stuffing so the head is a little firm and just a little bit on the body. Round 23 is going to be another decrease round, so we're going to do 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches followed by a decrease. That's 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches and then a decrease in the next 2 stitches. This is the pattern that we'll repeat in this round, and at the end of round 23 you should have 24 stitches. As you keep working the rounds, you can keep adding more stuffing until you feel it's firm enough. Round 24 is another decrease round. We're going to do 1 single crochet in the next stitch and a decrease in the next 2 stitches. Again, 1 single in the next and a decrease in the next 2 stitches. If you complete this pattern through this round, at the end you should have 16 stitches. I forgot to place the stitch marker, so I'm going to do it now. I'm going to count backwards and place the marker where I finished my last round so I know where to complete. So just continue this pattern of 1 single in the next and decrease in the next 2. There I'm about to do the last decrease of this round. At the end of this round, remember, we should have a stitch count of 16 stitches. In the next round, which is round 25, it's going to be another decrease round. So we're going to do 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches. And then we do a decrease in the next 2 stitches. So 1 single crochet in 2 stitches and a decrease. Again 1 single in the next 2 and a decrease. We're going to repeat this all around until we get a stitch count of 12 stitches in the end. There I have my 12 stitches. Now moving on to the last round of this head and body of the bunny, round 26. We are only going to do decrease stitches all around. But before we do that, we need to stuff the body firmly and make sure that it's pushed down all the way. So once we know that we have enough stuffing, it should be firm enough to hold. It should feel good when you hold it in your palm, and then you're good to close. So the closing round of this bunny's body is just decrease stitches all around. So 6 times we're going to do single crochet decrease, and at the end of this round we should have 6 stitches. Once you're done, leave a little bit of yarn tail, cut your yarn and close the gap on top by taking your yarn needle and going into the front loops of every stitch. At the end of it, we pull the yarn to close. We're going to make the arms, legs and the ears of the bunny. I've already attached one side of it. We're going to do the other side together. To make the arm, we're going to start with a magic circle again and do 6 single crochets in the magic circle. Pull the tail in tight to close. In round 2 of the arm, we're going to do an increase. So go into the next stitch and do 2 single crochets in the same stitch. Then we do 1 single crochet in the next stitch, 2 single in the next, 1 single in the next, and for the last time 2 single crochet in the next and 1 single in the next in the last stitch. So at the end of round 2 we should have 9 stitches. I'm going to place my stitch marker in the last stitch there, and in the next 7 rounds we're just going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch around. So 7 rounds of just 1 single each, keeping the stitch count of 9 at the end of every round. This is how the arm is going to look. We're just going to add a little bit of stuffing, not too much, right at the end, at the base, and then we can cut the yarn and close. To close, I'm just going to flatten the top and we're going to stitch through both the layers, front and back. To attach the arm to the body, simply place the flattened end just below the neck and stitch through. Make sure that it's symmetrical to the other arm. To make the legs, we are once again going to start by making 6 single crochet in a magic circle, pulling the tail end to close the center, round 2 of the leg is going to be an increase round. So we're going to go into each stitch and make 2 single crochet in each stitch around, giving us a total of 12 stitches in the end. In round 3, we're going to start by making an increase followed by a single, increase, single, increase, single, giving us a stitch count of 18 at the end. So go into the next stitch and make 2 single crochet in the same stitch, 1 single in the next, 2 single in the next, and so on. There we've made 18 at the end of round 3, and in the next round we're going to do decrease all around. So we're going to bring down the stitch count of 18 down to 9. So we're just going to do 9 sets of decrease stitches. Go into the next 2 single crochet and do a decrease. Again in the next 2 single we go and do a decrease stitch, and so on till we complete this round. I've completed my last decrease there, and so at the end of this round I have 9 stitches. Now for the next 5 rounds you're just going to make 1 single crochet in each stitch around, keeping the stitch count of 9. So 5 rounds of just 1 single in each. I'll finish that and come back. That's how a bunny leg is going to look. It's slightly wider at the base and narrows on top. I added a little bit of stuffing just to the base. We're going to finish it the same way that we finished the arm. Just leave a little bit of yarn tail, cut yarn, thread your yarn needle, flatten the top and stitch through both layers on top, and then we are good to attach the leg to the body. For the ears, you're going to start by making 5 single crochet in a magic circle. Round 2 of the ear, we're going to do increase all around. So go into the next stitch and do 2 single crochet and increase in each stitch around till we come to the end. You should have 10 stitches at the end of round 2, and for the next 5 rounds we're just going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch around, keeping the stitch count of 10. In round 8 of the ear, it's going to be a decrease round. So you're going to do 1 single crochet in the first 3 stitches and then do a decrease. Once again, 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches and do a decrease. At the end of this round, we should have 8 stitches. In the last round of the year, we're going to do another decrease. So we're going to do one single crochet in the first 2 stitches. Sorry that this shot is not very clear, it's a bit hazy. So one single in the first 2 and a decrease in the next. And once again, one single in the next 2 and a decrease in the next. At the end of this round, we should have 6 stitches. Then we're good to cut the yarn, leaving a little bit of a tail there, and we close the gap on top by threading our needle and weaving in through the front loops of every stitch. I'm going to go ahead and place this here on the other side and stitch it through. There's a cute little bunny. I also embroidered a T for the nose here. Remember, we don't add any stuffing in the ears. Now to make the collar for our bunny, I've already made a chain of 24 in white yarn. So you can choose any color that you want and go ahead and chain 24. Now we're going to go into the 3rd chain from the hook and make 5 half double crochet stitches. So to make a half double crochet, yarn over, enter the 3rd chain from the hook, grab your yarn and come out. With 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. We're going to do 4 more such half double crochets because we want 5 in total. So into the same chain space there, just going to do 5 half doubles in total. Now we're going to skip the next chain there, and into the next chain we're going to do a slip stitch. So go into the next chain and do a slip stitch and skip the next chain, and into the next chain we're again going to do 5 half double crochets. This pattern repeats itself. Skip 5 half doubles, skip, slip stitch, and so on. I'll finish that and come back. There goes our fancy little collar for our bunny. We've made 6 of these shells, and now I'm just going to slip stitch into the very first chain. We can then place the collar on our bunny's neck and stitch it at the back. I almost forgot to show you the bunny tail. Here we go. You're going to do 10 double crochet stitches in a magic ring. To start a magic ring and chain 3 to begin. Chain 3 counts as a stitch. And now into the ring we're going to do 9 double crochet. So in total we'll have 10 at the end. I've made my 9 doubles, and now I'm going to go into the top 3rd chain of the chain 3 that we made in the beginning and make a slip stitch to close. This is going to curl up a little bit, which is fine. Now we chain 1, and in the second round you're just going to do single crochet decreases all around. We'll be doing that 5 times, so 5 decrease stitches, and at the end of that round we should be left with 5 stitches. You can see how it's become a little rounded ball. We're not going to stuff this or anything. Just go ahead, leave a little bit of yarn tail, cut yarn. That's how it's going to look on the front, and now we're going to sew the opening close by weaving in through the front loops only, like we've been doing all along. And that's our cute little bunny with his tail and collar. There's a safety note here. Please do not add any small parts because of choking hazard in case you plan to give it to a young child or a baby. I'm not going to give it to a very young child, so I'm going to go ahead and glue this little satin rose that I have. Thank you for watching. I know that some of the shots were not at a good camera angle. I will work harder and make a better effort next time. Please do subscribe to our channel and share it around if you enjoyed watching and making from it. Thank you.